Well, this is our 7th year doing the Paralyzed Veterans of America Health Summit. It's as a person who is a beneficiary of the great health care that VA has delivered for me. I'm thankful for all the individuals who take time out of their practices and their busy days to come here and not just improve upon what they already do well and transfer knowledge to those who may be new to the profession, but who have chosen this path and contribute to an excellent system of care that is the spinal cord injury and disease system of care in the VA.
Well, as we start this journey hosting Summit Continuing Education Conference for spinal cord injury and other specialty related since 2011, this year we have 900 attendees, make it the highest number of attendees yet to come. Well, we hear all sort of feedback, but the number one theme is that Summit continue to grow. The value of the education continue to be so powerful. As you can see on the agenda, we have 75 sessions that interactive, all towards supporting the best practices, sharing idea, introducing education to the very new comer, young practitioner who just started their career in spinal cord injury, disease, MS, ALS, TBI, mental health, across the board, all very powerful topic that hopefully impact the care at the bedside once they obtain that education and sharing their idea.
Why did you choose to become a healer? Money? Raise your hand if it's money. Bunch of millionaires in here, right? Social status, everybody respects a doctor. Job security, you're always going to have people focused on getting better, so you need people in those industries, and if you're a healer, you've got some job security if you do it well enough, and it's probably a combination of all of those. But again, from the perspective of the patient, I'm willing to bet that somewhere on that list of what brought you into your respective discipline was a sense of compassion. Who can undoubtedly say that you demonstrate compassion in your clinical work with each and every patient you touch? So, tell me this. Then why are we in this position where you enjoy the privilege of providing care for our nation's bravest, our heroes? Is your system in a position now where it may go away? Why? We're not talking about the expansion of care. Dr. Yaya is going to talk about an excellent plan VA has to make it more accessible. I'm specifically talking about the spinal cord injury and disease system of care that's enduring that earthquake, and we're testing its foundation. How did we get there? What happened? But I'm talking about what I see when I go to your individual facilities and I talk to the nurses about morale. I talk to leadership about making the foundational mission a priority. I'm talking about when access to care is denied. I know you all sincerely believe you show it. I believe that. And the question today, though, is it enough? I don't believe it's enough, not with what's going on today. So let's take compassion a step further and separate the power to heal from another critical aspect of care that we consider important: empathy. The psychological identification with or vicarious experiencing of feelings, thoughts, or attitudes of another. And who are the another in this case? Veterans. Unlike compassion, empathy is not about alleviating suffering. It's about something rarely, if ever, found outside of the VA, a military cultural competency that understands veterans. You won't see it outside the VA in many cases. It's your competitive edge. When you're talking about competing with other systems, that's the edge you have, if you know what it really means. But the question is, do we know what it really means to be empathetic? And what role does it play in your role as healers?
First thing I have to say is any person who chooses a path where he or she will alleviate pain and suffering for another individual should be commended. Those are the heroes, the unsung heroes of our culture. I think over time, however, it's human nature to get desensitized. It's like the doctor who's done enough surgeries where the sight of blood doesn't move him or her. But along with that, you almost face a danger of turning people into objects, or you don't look at people as people, or you can't relate to the individual you're treating with empathy. And that's where you see a lot of the fall off when you see things happening that have to do with apathy, that have to do with forgetting that you're dealing with people, not taking a moment out of your busy day to stop and help a veteran who's sitting or standing in a hallway looking for the clinic that he's supposed to go to, or seeing a veteran depressed and not sitting down and maybe taking that veteran out to lunch and finding out what's going on in his life or her life. So, but it's that empathy that gives VA its unique character. If we can have empathy characterize why it's different. We know the private sector operates largely on money and profit, which is fine. That's what it's there for. These corporations derive their purpose from that. The VA is not that. They're not a for-profit institution. It's about the outcomes. It's about actually changing lives and healing. But that doesn't happen if there's no empathy. And so all I wanted to do today was, while I acknowledge that compassion is a major part of it, it's the ability to put yourself in another person's shoes that makes this system different if we can have our clinicians consciously do that.
Well, as a champion for healthcare and the best value for patient care, I encourage everyone who has come to the summit, come once, and then you'll never leave again. And also the repeater, be a champion. Get your college, get your staff to be involved, submit your idea, present to your peers. That's the only way we can share knowledge and learn from one another. But ultimately, the goal is what? We wanted to provide the best of care for the vulnerable group of patients.
I think one of the things that I learned from many of my mentors getting trained as a clinician was really was to listen. And that's one of the first things that our team did, is that we actively listened to our stakeholders, our veterans, our doctors, our VSOs, and our community providers and healthcare leaders. The big ideas and the big changes that we have been making, whether it's from a contract mod perspective, rolling out new IT projects or care models, they're not from folks here, they're really from folks on the front line saying, I have a better way of doing this, let me share it with you. And if you're open to listening, it's amazing what you can do. We really want to have the best in class in our VA foundational services, and also partner with the highest quality providers to create that network. I think it's important to have transparency for our veteran patients on the type of care that we do, as well as the type of care that's in the community. And if it was simple, it would have been done already. And so I look forward to learning from you more through your questions today, and see how you can help us shape the future for VA community care.
It's really lovely. PVA is a really great organization. I've been coming to these conferences since I started at Boston VA. And I remember the first year when I came, it was really just like a great way to learn a lot about spinal cord injury as well. And I was really impressed. It's special to be around a lot of VA employees as well. So it's really nice just to be honored by the organization, and it feels like a good home. It's a really great conference, and I'm glad that PVA is able to commit, the time and the money and the funds, that people are able to come. It's a great way to continue networking and continue learning.
It feels amazing, I feel like it was unexpected, but also inspiring, because I feel like there's so much to do. Yet, we do a lot in Tampa with spinal cord injury, with ALS and MS, but we have such visions of doing so much more, and it's really it's motivating to continue the work as well. My favorite is actually the connections, to reconnecting with colleagues across the world, and also learning what they're doing, learning what's out there, and again, everything that I can do to bring back to our facility is really, it helps set the tone for the upcoming year. So I work well with my local PVA chapter and the national group, and I just wanted to thank them as well for their support and commitment to helping out with everything with ALS, MS, and spinal cord injuries.
So basically, our products, we do bladder management products, and we have a new bowel management product coming out. So the members of the Paralyzed Veterans of America, their constituents would be prime users of our products. So we really want to get out and educate them that these products are available, because it really has an effect on their quality of life. So being a sponsor with PVA allows us to partner with them and get in front of the people that their constituents in their organization.
Well, I just got here, but in the past, I've greatly enjoyed being at the summit meetings. It's a nice combination of clinicians, researchers, therapists, and patients, most importantly. My subspecialty is in multiple sclerosis, so I've come here to give a talk on challenges of treating multiple sclerosis within the VA system.
Actually, this is my 4th summit, but each summit is excellent. They have been providing new experiences, new educational material. The sponsors have been there to explain some of the new services, new equipment out for our spinal cord veterans. My favorite aspect is all the educational material, the political atmosphere that's here to explain to us exactly what's going on with our programs on Washington Hill, which is very important because our veterans don't really always understand those aspects of what's going on with certain programs. Now we're able to give that information back to our veterans, back to our colleagues, so they understand the movement or the changes that are going on.
Means a lot. I started this project 3 years ago. It was just about driving again for the first time in 15 years and driving fast and having fun. But as the project has evolved, the technology now can be transferred to workplace environments, tractor, trailer, forklifts, harvesters, you name it. And so that means a lot in the PVA environment, since the PVA is positioned to provide vocational training, provide equipment with the primary purpose of getting guys and gals back to work again. And so given what these young men and women have given up for our freedom and for our country, I think it's absolutely essential that we get them back into the workplace and give them a reason to get up every morning, and this technology can help with that.
It's a chance to catch up on what's thought to be the latest in terms of research and even just thoughts, things that aren't necessarily published yet. But in some ways, even more importantly, the networking is really helpful. And interestingly, I was just thinking this again today, that it actually reaffirms that what we are doing at our VA, in this case, we're on the right track. We're doing some good work, and it's very helpful to have that reaffirmation and connecting with other people, and sometimes just I was sitting next to a doc just a few minutes ago, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we ran into this problem, and we're using this app," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know about that app," and so even little things like that can be really helpful.